My wife died while cheating, so I skipped her funeral, left my abusive stepdaughter penniless. Hello everyone. Dear listeners, please share your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Now let's begin the video. Using a throwaway for obvious reasons with certain specifics modified to preserve anonymity. My wife died while she was cheating on me. So I decided to skip her funeral, left my abusive stepdaughter broke, and took everything back from her. I'm Mark, 32, and I run an import-export business in Dallas. Built it from scratch after 5 years of working my ass off on cargo ships. Now I make 7 figures a year shipping top-quality olive oils and wines from all over Greece. Not trying to brag. This whole story about her pretty much became my life. It's like a whole new chapter. About 6 years ago, I met Julia at a wine expo in Austin. She was 35, marketing director for some fancy hotel chain, and absolutely stunning. The kind of woman who walks into a room and everyone just stops. She approached me at my booth, complimented my selection of reds, and we ended up talking for 3 hours straight. She was smart, funny, and genuinely seemed interested in my approach to business. Now, that was a red flag I totally ignored. Naively, I realize now. She brought up her messy divorce and starting fresh in Dallas within the first hour, but her eyes were hypnotic, and I was definitely thinking with my, other head. She had a 14-year-old daughter named Sophie. When Julia introduced us, the girl was glued to her phone, barely lifting her eyes. Whatever, I thought, teenagers, right? We dated for about 8 months. Julia subtly hinted she was after stability, talked about her ex being unreliable on support payments, and how much Sophie needed a stable family. She'd cook fancy dinners at my place, always mentioning how Sophie would do better with a proper 2-parent setup. The sex was incredible too. She knew exactly how to pull the right strings, and I was hooked like a fool. Whenever a doubt sneaked in, she'd do this little thing with her tongue that just shut my brain off. We ended up tying the knot in Santorini. Her idea might cost 50, zero for a wedding with 200 of her closest friends and family. I had only 20 people there. Should have been a sign looking back. The sex stopped dead, literally 2 months after the wedding. Not slowed down or faded, just cut off like flipping a switch. Suddenly she was too tired from work, had migraines, or was worried about Sophie overhearing us. Our intimacy dwindled from nearly daily to maybe once a month, and even then, felt like she was doing me a favor. Meanwhile, Sophie turned into a full-blown nightmare the moment that ring went on Julia's finger. She'd walk into my home office while I was on important calls, blasting music, spilling wine on my laptop, and even stealing money from my wallet. When I confronted her, she'd claim I promised her everything and run crying to Julia. Julia's response: "She's traumatized from the divorce. You need to be patient." Patience, my ass. I was being played like a damn fool, and I knew it. But I'd built this life, this image of success, a beautiful wife and a house in Highland Park. I convinced myself things would get better. I kept paying for everything. Sophie went to Anatolia College, costing me $25, $0 a year, and she still failed half her classes. Therapy sessions at $150 each, twice a week, where she'd spend the whole time telling her therapist what an idiot I was. Designer clothes, the latest iPhone, trips to the coast with her friends, all on my dime. About 3 years ago, Julia started working late at some boutique hotel. Say it was for important clients from Dubai and Russia, she said. I wasn't stupid. I knew what entertainment meant in her line of work. But she always came back on time with receipts, colleagues vouching for her. Then came the girl trips, monthly ventures to places like Makos, Crete, or Athens. Always somewhere with beaches and clubs. Always tired but looking refreshed, with a new set of lingerie I never saw her wear. That's when I decided I wasn't just going to be a victim anymore. Last month I did what I should done long ago. I hired a private investigator. Best $5, $0 I ever spent. His name's Jake. He's a personal trainer at the local gym in Highland Park, 28 years old, former military. Looks like a Greek god on those CrossFit posters. And he had photos. Hotels in, not even far enough away to be discreet, girl trips, meetups in the parking lot. Late nights in his apartment. A year of her sneaking around with him, but I hadn't confronted her, yet because I'd been busy. While Julia was getting her DK from Jake, I'd been moving assets around, liquidating, restructuring, creating new companies, transferring money to accounts she doesn't even know about. Greece's divorce laws are tricky. If I don't get caught and if assets are hidden or tied up in failed businesses, they can't be split. I've been documenting everything, receipts for Sophie's nonsense. Every time Julia refused intimacy, girl trips, late nights, I even made a spreadsheet. My lawyer top in Dallas says I've got enough evidence to bury her in court, but I'm waiting. Tomorrow she's headed to our villa in Galveston for another girls' weekend. Except I hear Jake requested time off from the gym. They're probably screwing in the house I built, laughing about how pathetic I am. They're right, I've been pathetic. But that ends now. I've already filed the divorce papers. She'll be served at the villa. The locks on the Highland Park apartment are getting changed while she's gone. It's all legal, all in my name. Her credit cards canceled at midnight, her BMW reported stolen, still in my company's name, not hers. Sophie's tuition, not my concern anymore. That unlimited credit card, dead, the apartment near her university. Lease ends next month, no renewal. I'm done being her wallet, her stability, her fool. This marriage, done. Some people will call me cruel, say I should think of Sophie or be the bigger person. F that, I've been the bigger person for 6 damn years, taking disrespect, shutting up about the lies, paying for control for her and her daughter's entitlement. I paid to keep her in private school, therapy, designer clothes, trips. And for what? To get spit on, abused, and made to feel like I wasn't enough. No more. It's been 3 hours since I posted this. She just texted me, said traffic's horrible, baby, might be late, don't wait up. Yeah, I won't. I'll be at my lawyer's office making sure everything is airtight. Update, I just got a call. There's been an accident. I need to go. Post 2, she's dead. I don't even know how to process that. 2 hours after my last post, the police called single-car crash on the highway. Her BMW wrapped around a tree. She died instantly, probably didn't feel a thing. But here's the sick part, she was alone. I drove straight to the hospital. Every emotion I could name was cycling through me: grief, relief, guilt, anger. How dare she die before I could finally divorce her? The police pulled me aside, they needed me to identify her. She wasn't alone, there was a man in the car. Minor injuries, cuts, bruises, maybe a concussion. And I knew before they even said his name. He's lying in ICU now, that med-looking Greek Adonis, wrapped head to toe in bandages. Nurses said he came in barely dressed, just gym shorts, sandals, high on painkiller and adrenaline when I arrived. His eyes went wide when he saw me, started babbling excuses, calling me brother, claiming it wasn't what I thought. Said she told him I was unable to satisfy her anymore, that I knew about them. I looked at him, this pathetic kid in a hospital gown, probably sticky with her juices, trying to explain how he was screwing her in my car. How long? I asked. 14 months, he whispered. Longer than I'd thought, longer than I hoped. Were there others? I pushed. He looked away, that was enough. I left without another word. What's the point? She's dead. Not worth it, just. The latest, probably a string of guys who left my wife while I paid for her life. The doctor caught me in the hall. They needed me to see her, the body. Did I want a moment? No, I just wanted to see her. She looked small, so fragile. The woman who ruled my life for 6 years, who gaslighted me into thinking I was a problem, who made me feel like I wasn't enough. Now just a broken corpse on a metal table. She died instantly, probably never felt a thing. Hit a tree going 140h, no skid marks, no attempt at braking. Signed the papers. They asked about the funeral. I told them I'd think about it. As I turned to leave, Sophie showed up, her 20-year-old brat dressed like she was headed to the club, fake eyelashes all. She saw me and shrieked, "This is your fault. You drove her to this," she yelled. She was miserable with you. I let her scream, let her make her scene in the hospital lobby. Security moved toward her, but I waved them off. When she ran out of energy, she spat her last line. Handle the funeral. Mom would want something beautiful. Need money for everything. That's when I snapped, more like a rubber band snapping in half. No, I said. What do you mean no? You were her husband, that's over. I'm done with her memory, with pretending we're a family. I walked out. She followed me to the parking lot, yelling about responsibilities and reputation, about how I was abandoning her in her grief. I got into my car, not her dream, and drove away. She kept yelling as I left. It's been 24 hours. My phone's ringing nonstop. Her family, who never cared about me, only when they wanted something. Her friends, some of whom probably knew about the affairs. Sophie leaving unhinged voicemails calling me a monster. The funeral home called. They need decisions. I handed them Sophie's number. My lawyer called too. He asked if anything changed. My response: nope. If anything, it sped things up. Because sitting alone, drinking wine I imported myself, it hit me. I'm free. She died cheating, probably with another man's, and I'm supposed to mourn, to pretend, to fund some fucking funeral commemorating a woman who spent her marriage lying. F that. Tomorrow I'm canceling. Every card, automatic payment, everything tied to her and Sophie, evicting her from the university apartment, shutting down her bills and ending the nightmare. Not sad, more like relief. Is that fucked up? My wife's gone and all I feel is lighter, like I've been carrying an enormous boulder and someone finally took it off. The Greek Orthodox Church tells me to forgive, to honor her memory, to care for Sophie. F that. I say, forget forgiveness. Justice is better. Sometimes letting people suffer the full consequences of what they chose, that's true justice. Come to think of it, chose to steal from me, cheat, and plan to destroy my life. She died in a crash inside a car I paid for. Sophie chose to treat me like dirt, robbed me, and tried framing me. That trainer was fucking her while she's living with someone else. Now he's ruined, broken, begging the same man she cheated on. Me? I stopped being a victim. I protected myself, valued my worth, not theirs, and finally I'm living the life I deserve. To everyone out there in the same boat, used, cheated, taken for granted, know this: you owe nothing. Not your money, not your apologies, not your suffering. Cut them loose. Build something better from the wreckage. The best revenge isn't cold, it's hot, champagne perfect, toasted with someone worth sharing your success. And yeah, I'm out.